We've romanticized the evil genius long enough, but what about the divine genius? Someone who lives in divinity is not someone who thinks that they're better than other people. They just know that they have the intelligence to do corruption, to be bad, to do wrong, can make an easy dollar, but they choose the righteous path. The righteous path is not about trying to be showboaty. It's about knowing that there's a way for me to get what I want, as well as something that you can get in return for what you want. And even if I get more, you're still getting what you want, and no one's getting hurt in that exchange, right? This to me is the most genuine exchange of an entrepreneur and getting new clients, right? The entrepreneur is going after a dream to fulfill something. And if people, again, are their sales funnel, then the purpose of selling to people is because they feel their product is worth it. If you're only doing it for an evil genius, which is your product sucks and it's going to fall apart as soon as they get it, but you know that you can sell it so well that you can get profit, and then you walk away and people are miserable, then it's like, great, okay, that is one way to get what you want, but you're not winning because now you have all of this old negative energy that follows you. And this is where people start feeling like, why does my life feel so stressful? Why do I feel like I'm falling apart? Again, you can have all the riches in the world surrounded around you and be miserable. And this is what enough people of status and money are saying. I have all this, but I'm miserable still. Because you're not using your intelligence for good. You're using it for evil, per se, which is just to be boastful, just to gloat, to say that you have it. But what use is that if it's only for status? If you know that you have status because you take care of yourself and you put in the work to be intentional, and the byproducts that come from you are about giving back in a way that just makes you happy that people receive it and it works, then that's where you go to your divine intelligence, because now you see that, okay, this is a problem that I'm facing and I just want to solve this problem. And yes, there's going to be people in between who are going to try to muddle it, but I have to stay true to my authentic self and say, this is the path I choose to take, because it might seem like the road less traveled or it might seem like the harder journey, but it's the most consistent and reliable journey when you take your time to put work in the way that you know will get you the best results. It's okay to want something to happen right away. It's okay to do things that are beneficial to you that happen instantly, because that's what gratification is about sometimes. You have to let that happen to be happy, like, okay, that was gratifying, but I don't need it all the time. Like candy, right? Even if you, I love those old sitcoms where they have the kids eating candy every day until they finally say, okay, I get it. I'm sick of it. I had enough sugar. I want something different. Yes, this is something that tastes good, but I don't need it all the time, nor do I want it all the time, right? That's where I say you have to understand the difference between what we call evil and divinity. Evil to me is not about someone who is unforgivable. It's about someone who's choosing to know that they are intelligent enough to know that they could do it a way that won't hurt others. But instead of doing that, they say, whatever, people hurt me, so I'm just going to keep doing what I want to do and getting what I want to get. That is one world to serve. The other one is, I'm going to give back in a bountiful way. And even though I will never get the recognition I feel I deserve, or if I think I deserve it, again, that's ego. When you have good intent and divine energy, you're not doing it because you want someone to give you recognition. You're doing it because you want to give and to share. And if recognition comes from that, then you receive it and say thank you and be graceful in that moment. But remember that you still have a mission to complete, whatever that might be. Your purpose for exchanging your energy for your intelligence is one of the parts of being on this earth, right? You have to go study, you have to go practice, you have to put in the work. That's energy. And then when you do that, you get the wisdom, the intelligence, because now you learn from experience and you have it. So if you're trying to cheat time or trying to cheat energy out of what it deserves, energy will come back to you and get you. This is why we say we reap what you sow, right? Be careful, because if you're only going out and putting ill intent out into the world, even if for the moment the people around you seems like you're winning, energy remembers that you took from it and never gave back, right? When you say, I got this big dream and I'm going to give all this back to people, I'm going to do this thing, and then you become big and you don't give back to the people at all, well, you're seeing it happen right now in real life, people, where celebrities are falling apart because they're just doing it for ego's sake. They're not doing it for purpose sake, right? Ego is the evil genius. Purpose is the divine genius because they see that there's a bigger picture that can help others as well as help themselves. And as long as you're helping others genuinely, then you're always going to help yourself because it goes back to society and the environment which we all dwell. That's the exchange of energy. So when you're working with intelligence in a way that's to help others, you're not always going to get to see it in your lifetime. You're not always going to get to see it instantly that day, that month, that year. But when you continue to put in work into yourself, that becomes the purpose of why you do it. Because you feel healthy, you feel happy, you feel lighthearted. And then it's easier for you to produce and give back because you're not trying to hold on to, you're not trying to salvage this last survival, whatever it is, to make you feel like you need it because no one else has it. And now everyone's like, oh my God, I don't have this energy. What am I going to do? Let me go take it from somebody else and try to hold on to it. But if you are not the source, you're never going to have enough, right? You're never going to get enough. And you're going to be draining of others and taking from others. And that makes no sense. So yeah, there's going to be people who take that easy route. And in that time, they're going to have their power. Let them. That is for them and their God to work through. Me and my God on my universe side, we're like, listen, I'm going to do what I can do to keep myself as balanced as possible without falling apart. When things do fall apart, and understanding that I am capable and able of rebuilding because I'm a divine creator and I am also on a divine path that allows me the space to say, okay, that didn't work. Try again, right? Most people who become evil geniuses when it didn't work, instead of doing the work, they get mad. And then it becomes about emotional intelligence or emotional escapism. And now they're just mad that something happened to them in a way that it shouldn't have. And instead of just owning it and being like, listen, this is life and that person was hurt or that situation was distorted, that's not who I am. But they become that distortion and that hurt, and then that's where the evil genius becomes this master plotter, planner, always trying to win or one up someone. And that is exhausting. Isn't that exhausting? That's boring too. So we've done that archetype for over and over and over. They never get enough. The divine energy, they have plenty to give, but they're learning how to delegate it. They're learning how to utilize it. To me, that's a much more interesting story where you have these powers that you don't know what to do with them. We've seen this before. It's a trope. There's a lot of superhero stories out there. But the reason we love them is because we all know that we have a divine purpose that allows us the free will to connect on a way that's deeper without it having to be maliceful. So if you're choosing malice, that's a choice. Just like I can choose divinity, that's a choice. No one's perfect, but it's how you choose to walk these paths that allow you to say, I have a purpose that makes it look like you're perfect. It is what it is. People are going to always have things that they label and judge a certain thing because that's what language is, context. So even if people don't like labels, they exist because it gives us an expansion of our vocabulary and our understanding of thought and emotion and spirit so that we can talk about it when it's happening to us versus us trying to manipulate it to happen the way we want through ego, not knowing that we're just causing more chaos in the spiritual and emotional realms because you're going to have to deal with it at some point. So I'd rather do my divine purpose now, do my work now, let it come to me now, that I can walk through the fire, that I can walk through the belly of the beast, and know that I'm still here, whole in self, listening to my divine path, which is to love on my purpose, love on my space, and to love on my heart, because that's going to always keep me connected to getting more. So I hope that makes sense. Love ya.